Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Quality Analyst. Now today's topic is very important concept, not just for Selenium, but also for Java fundamentals and interview understanding. We are going to talk about static methods in Selenium, more specifically, how we can directly write by.id, by.classname, by.name, by.xpath, by.css selector, why we do not create an object of by class, what static methods are in Java, and how Selenium internally uses static methods to create locators. So this topic clears a huge confusion for many beginners. So let's try to understand the logic behind it. So let me go to the IDE and let's create one class here, static methods. Okay, and then again I will simply add a main method, and then WebDriver instance I will create. Driver dot get, and then I can pass URL here. Let's consider URL, and then I can use driver dot find element, and then here I can pass by dot xpath. Okay, you see there are methods by.xpath, by.id, css selector, by.id, by class name. So there are a lot of methods are available under this by class. Okay, and then here we are passing the xpath. Okay, so let's assume this is the xpath. Okay, so now the question is, why do we write like this directly by.xpath, and why we are not creating an object of by class? For example, if we try to create an object of by class, that is new by here, it will give you an error here. Okay, why? Because the by class is an abstract class and it cannot be instantiated. Okay, so this is the reason we are not creating any object of by class. Okay, and this is not a magic. Okay, if you go inside the method, let's say go inside this xpath. Okay, and then you see the xpath is a static method. Okay, so this is a Java static method behavior, and once you understand this, Selenium suddenly becomes clearer. Okay, so now let's understand what are static methods in Java. Okay, so a static method basically belongs to the class, not to the object, and it can be called without creating an object. Okay, so you go here. So let's say, for example, if we have a class name. Okay, this is our class name. Okay, and then the method name is, this is the method name. So we no need to create a class name object here, no need to create object of this class. Okay, we can simply, let's consider if this is a static method. Okay, we can just add static method name. So we can simply call it by using class name dot method name, class name dot method name. So this is the general syntax for calling such static methods. Okay, so let's consider there is a predefined class, that is math. Okay, this is java.lang. Okay, in java.lang package. So if you want to call the methods such as square root, absolute, okay, or the max, min, so you can simply pass directly call that max method from this math class. Okay, so let's say 10 and 20, and again if you go inside this max, this is a static method. Okay, so we don't create a math object because the math is static, math method is static, and we can directly call it by using a class name. Okay, so this is exactly what Selenium is doing with the by class. Okay, so now let's talk about why Selenium designed it in this way. So by class represents a locator strategy. So it is not a web element, it is not a browser, or it is not a stateful object. It is simply a description of how to locate an element. So Selenium made methods like by.id, by.name, by.xpath, by CSS selector. Okay, so these are the static methods because there is no need to store data in the by object. Each call simply creates a locator definition. no memory overhead, and cleaner syntax. Okay, so this is how we can directly call all these methods. So if you go inside XPath, XPath is a static method. You see the tag name, then name, partial link text, all these methods are static methods. Even class name, CSS selector, right? So all these methods are static methods. Okay, so now here, even if you want to create an object of by class, we cannot create because by is an abstract class. Okay, and it is not meant to be instantiated. So only Selenium can create its internal implementations. Okay, so this is how the by class methods works. Okay, and all these methods defined in by are static methods. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you understand this, you now understand both Selenium design and Java static concepts. So if this video helped you, like, subscribe, share with Selenium learners. Happy learning, and I will see you in the next lecture.